Hey, hello guys, welcome to IQ Civils IAS Academy, a great coach transforms life. So, today we are going to cover Vikram-s and Artemis mission. Now, what is unique about Vikram-s mission? So, it is unique because first time in the history of Indian space, private sector is entering into the space activities, and Artemis mission is unique in a sense after 50 years we are planning to send humans again back to moon, and this Artemis mission is related to that. So all these two topics which are related to the national development in the field of space technology and international developments in the field of space technology will be covered by me, Dr. Sachin Kadam, faculty at IQ Civils IAS Academy, Guwahati. So let's start, but before that you should know about the IQ Civil Science Academy. So IQ Civil Science Academy is running many training programs for the students in collaboration with Assam government under the auspices of Assam Administrative Staff College. We are running these programs since 2018, so you can be rest assured about the quality of the institute, that is IQ Civil Science Academy, because it is an government affiliated institute. Second, now it is about the government recognition, but IQ Civil Science Academy is also liked by the students on Google platform. You can see 4.9 star on Google. That is a rare and unique for an institute which is running an UPSC or IS or APSC coaching. This is our elite panel of faculties from across India and from Delhi. That includes Sunil sir, Sachin sir, Anuj sir, Alok sir, Yogesh sir, Rizwan sir, Vikram sir, and Nitin Kumar sir. So here you can see we are starting our new batches offline as well as online from 20 November. So if you are planning to go ahead with offline coaching of UPSC or APSC, you need to be in Guwahati and you need to register with us first so that your seat will be booked. So to register yourself for offline batch, connect to Mr. Anuj Singh or Vishal Sharma or Anuradha Saikia. Or if you are planning to go ahead with our online class, so you can simply register with these numbers and get access to our online classes. It doesn't matter where you are, in India or out of India. This is our YouTube channel. You should subscribe to our YouTube channel because all the updates related to different subjects for UPSC, APSC and different state services examination are available on this YouTube channel. So let's start our topic. So what was the news? The basic news was Vikram-s rocket launch, India's first privately developed rocket under mission Prarambh. Now here what you need to understand are few things. Let me show you the actual news. It is a news of 19th of November, and the heading of the news in Indian Express was New Beginning in India's Space Sector as First Private Rocket Completes Mission. So by keeping this news in mind, we are going to cover all the content that is important for our examination. So first fact you need to remember from this heading is that Vikram-s is a rocket that is launched by private sector, and that is the first rocket launched by a private sector. Second thing you need to remember is that mission Prarambh is related to entry of private sector in Indian space activity. So you need to remember these two facts for your prelims in UPSC as well as state services examination. So here you can see in a historic moment, Vikram-s, India's first privately developed rocket, lifted off recently from the ISRO launch pad in Sriharikota. Now from here you need to remember, see, there are different infrastructures or places where ISRO's facilities are located. So if ISRO is launching any satellite, so that will always be launched from the Sriharikota. This Sriharikota is located in Andhra Pradesh. It is a small island off the coast of Andhra Pradesh from where ISRO launches its satellite or launches its launch vehicles. So currently in India, there is only one place where launch pads for the rockets are located. That's why, though this Vikram is, yes, is a privately developed rocket, it was launched by using ISRO's infrastructure at Sriharikota. Now, what is the background of this vikram-s? So this vikram-s is launched under the mission codenamed Prarambha. You know the meaning of Prarambha, the beginning, because vikram-s is the beginning of the entry of private sector in Indian space. So the mission codenamed Prarambha, the beginning, is the Indian private sector's first entry into the lucrative space launch market. And yes, space launch market is a lucrative market. That is the reason Elon Musk is in space launches. If you ever heard, Elon Musk owns, along with Twitter, he also owns the SpaceX, which is a private space company, and his rockets are named Falcon and Falcon Heavy, which are reusable launch vehicles. And by using these rockets, Elon Musk launches satellites of his own as well as satellites of other countries, and he earns money like hell. So yes, the space launch market, it is a lucrative market. There is a lot of money in space launch market. So it is important for Indian private sector to enter into this lucrative space launch market. And with the launch of mission Prarambh, with the launch of Vikram-s rocket launcher, this mission or this activity has started, the beginning. Okay, it is a mission under which Vikram-s, India's first privately developed launch vehicle by Hyderabad based Skyroot Aerospace. So you need to remember, Skyroot Aerospace is a Hyderabad based private space agency. It is a private space agency, keep that in mind. Okay, and this Vikram-s rocket is owned or launched by Skyroot Aerospace by using ISRO's space infrastructure at Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh. Now, when we launched this Vikram-s rocket, so it was carrying 3 customer satellites. But for your information, see, the objective of Vikram-s launch was to just test the रॉकेट टेक्नोलॉजी एंड नॉट टू लॉन्च सैटेलाइट. सो ये जो कस्टमर सैटेलाइट्स है जिनकी हम यहाँ बात कर रहे हैं, ये जो 3 कस्टमर सैटेलाइट्स है, 2 इंडियन और ये एक फॉरेन, वो डिप्लॉयबल नहीं थे. मतलब वी कैन नॉट लॉन्च देम इन ऑर्बिट. दे वेयर used as payload on Vikram-s rocket only for one purpose, and that purpose is to test the different subsystems of rocket and not to launch a satellite. It is very crucial. So Vikram-s launch is just to test the rocket technology and not to launch any satellite. Now what is Vikram-s rocket? This is, see, Vikram-s is a rocket launched by private sector in India for the very first time. This fact is important for state services. But if UPSC want to ask question on Vikram-s rocket, number one, how many stages this rocket has? Only one stage. So it is a single stage. Then which fluid or which fuel is used in this rocket? So solid fuel is used in this rocket. So it is a single stage solid fuel suborbital launch vehicle. Now what is the meaning of suborbital? Means this launch vehicle went into the space and it just came back like this. This suborbital path is also followed by ballistic missile. And what is the meaning of orbital path? This launch vehicle went into the orbit. Here it launched the satellite and satellite started orbiting around Earth without coming back to Earth. So that is the difference between orbital and suborbital. So Vikram-s rocket is a single stage solid fueled suborbital launch vehicle named after Vikram Sarabhai. I hope everyone knows. If you don't know, remember, father of Indian space program Vikram Sarabhai, father of Indian nuclear program Dr. Homi J. Bhabha, father of Indian missile program Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So this rocket was named after Vikram Sarabhai. So you should do something in your life that will make your name big, like Vikram Sarabhai. So it is a single stage solid fueled suborbital launch vehicle named after Vikram Sarabhai, who is the pioneer of India's space program. The spacecraft travels slower than the orbital velocity. That is why this spacecraft went into space and came back to Earth. अगर if it can travel faster than the orbital velocity, then it will go into space and it will orbit around the earth. So the spacecraft travels slower than the orbital velocity in a suborbital flight, which means it is fast enough to reach outer space but not fast enough to maintain an orbit around the earth. So because the objective of Vikram-S rocket was to come back, just to touch the space and come back. That's why it is a suborbital launch vehicle, Vikram-S. Okay. So I hope you got the clear idea कि what is the meaning of orbital launch vehicle and what is the meaning of suborbital launch vehicle. PSLV is a orbital launch vehicle, GSLV Mk3 is a orbital launch vehicle, but Vikram-S that is launched yesterday is a suborbital launch vehicle. The launch vehicle's engine, now in this launch vehicle we are using engine Kalam 80. For example, I will tell you PSLV है, PSLV में first time we introduced liquid engine, okay, and this liquid engine was named Vikas. So liquid engine in PSLV is named Vikas. In the same way, the solid engine we are using in Vikram-S rocket is named Kalam 80. So the launch vehicle's engine Kalam 80 is named after former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. The Vikram-S is a SSLV, means this launch vehicle will be used to launch small satellite, means this launch vehicle's payload carrying capacity is lesser. Okay, because it is time to launch nano satellite. आजकल heavy satellite launch करना कम हो गया है. Because of the nanotechnology we can develop smaller satellites whose weight is lesser. So now we need launch vehicle which can launch smaller satellite and not the larger satellite. So Vikram-S is a small satellite launch vehicle or SSLV that will carry payloads weighing between 290 and 560 kg. For example, see, the payload carrying capacity of PSLV is 1750 kg in SSPO. SSPO is one of the orbit in which we launch remote sensing satellite, and instead the payload carrying capacity of Vikram-S is only 290 to 560 kg. That's why we are calling Vikram-S small satellite launch vehicle. Now, what is the significance of launch of Vikram-S? So, in this mission, we demonstrated different technologies. For example, we demonstrated the capacity of Kalam 80 engine, which is a solid state or solid engine. Then we also printed different parts in this rocket we used, like thrusters. They were 3D printed, which is great, na? 3D printing is the latest technology. We considered this as a deep tech. जो भी मॉडर्न फोर्थ इंडस्ट्रियल रिवॉल्यूशन प्रमोट या फिर पावर्ड है ना, इट इज पावर्ड बाय द 3D प्रिंटिंग एज वेल. तो वी फॉर द वेरी फर्स्ट टाइम we used rocket thrusters which are printed by using 3D printing in Vikram-S. Okay, so technology demonstration mission, the Vikram-S, Kalam 80 and 3D printed parts will be used to test and certify technology in the Vikram series space launch vehicles. तो अगर आपको कभी पूछा जाए Vikram series of launch vehicles belongs to Skyroot Aerospace, which is a private space agency, and PSLV series of launch vehicle belongs to ISRO. GSLV series of launch vehicle belongs to ISRO, which is a government organization. Done? So the company is developing 3 Vikram rockets that will use various solid and cryogenic fuel, but the first Vikram-S rocket that we recently launched, it has only solid engine. So the company is developing 3 Vikram rockets that will use various solid and cryogenic fuels and have a carbon composite core structure. और ये पहली बार हुआ है कि we used carbon composite structure to build a launch vehicle, and carbon composite matlab nanotechnology, because in carbon composite we use carbon nanotubes, and carbon nanotube is the nano allotrope of carbon which is invented by nanotechnology. Done? Now before I go ahead, I will give you the idea in short. Number one, ये आपको प्रीलिम्स के लिए अच्छे से याद रखना है as well as मेंस. नंबर वन, विक्रम यस It is a rocket. First rocket launched by private space agency. It is a single stage solid fueled rocket. Payload carrying capacity of this rocket is 290 to 560 kilogram. Launch of Vikram-S was just a technology demonstrator, means Vikram-S rocket didn't launch any satellite. By launching Vikram-S, we just tested rocket technology. Okay, and Vikram-S is a suborbital launch vehicle, means it didn't entered into the orbit. And what was the main objective of Vikram-S? Yes, the main objective of Vikram-S was to touch space and come back. Done. This is about Vikram-S. You need to remember for your prelims as well as for your mains examination. Now, is there any other space agency in India which is working in the space activity, which is a private agency and which is trying to enter into the space arena? The answer is yes. So there is one space agency, जैसे ये Skyroot Aerospace launched Vikram-S, which is based in Hyderabad. Agnikul Cosmos is a Chennai-based another private space agency whose सेमी क्रायोजेनिक अग्निलेट इंजन, देखो स्काईरूट एरोस्पेस के इंजन का नाम था कलाम 80, अग्निकुल कॉस्मोस की इंजन का नाम है अग्निलेट इंजन, और इनके जो लॉन्च व्हीकल होंगे ना, वी विल कॉल देम अग्निबाण, दे विल बी कॉल्ड अग्निबाण. So Agnikul Cosmos, for example, whose semi-cryogenic Agnilet engine was recently tested at ISRO's vertical testing facility at Thumba TERLS, Thiruvananthapuram. ISRO's SSLV is also expected to be manufactured and operated by private players in the near future. So currently there are only two private agencies that are in news or that are known to us. One is Skyroot Aerospace, which launched Vikram series of launch vehicle. Agnikul Cosmos, which will launch Agniban series of launch vehicle. Done? So promoting startups, around 100 startups have registered with ISRO and are collaborating with it in various areas of space program. So this is all about the Vikram-S rocket. What is the history of development of private sector in Indian space? How exactly private sector is working to develop launch vehicles and satellites in Indian space field? तो देखिए, in August 2020, here you can see August 2020, test fires India's first privately developed liquid fueled rocket engine called Raman. So remember, Raman is a privately developed liquid fueled rocket engine. Then December 2020, test fires India's first privately built solid rocket propulsion stage Kalam 5. तो yes, अभी हमने देखा Kalam 80 is a solid propelled rocket engine. So Kalam series is for solid engines. Then November 2021, test fires country's first privately developed fully cryogenic rocket engine Dhawan. तो ये बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है. देखो कलाम नाम आ गया तो इट इज अ सॉलिड इंजन डेवलप्ड बाय प्राइवेट सेक्टर. रमन नाम आ गया तो इट इज अ लिक्विड इंजन डेवलप्ड बाय प्राइवेट स्पेस एजेंसीज. और अगर धवन नाम आ गया तो इट इज अ क्रायोजेनिक इंजन डेवलप्ड बाय प्राइवेट सेक्टर. यहाँ पे आपके लिए बता देता हूँ, धवन, सतीश धवन, he also contributed a lot in the field of space. Kalam, he contributed in the rocket technology. Raman, you know the CV Raman effect or scattering of light. November 2022 announces Mission Prarambha. So Mission Prarambha was announced in November 2022, and under this mission, first rocket launched by a private space agency is Vikram-S. So announces Mission Prarambha to launch India's first privately built rocket. Okay, so this is all about the Vikram-S mission or Vikram-S rocket launcher. Now see, I will give you some background information. To promote participation of private sector in Indian space activities or in Indian space industry, Indian government came up with two organizations. The name of first organization is InSpace, Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center, which falls under the Department of Space, Government of India. So this is InSpace. Here you can see InSpace presents MS Skyroot Aerospace Private Limited launch of vikram-s suborbital flight Prarambha mission. Now, what is the objective of InSpace? Here I will give you clear idea what is the objective of InSpace. Number one, InSpace wants to promote and develop Indian space ecosystem so that it will accelerate space economy. InSpace wants to enable and nurture new generation engines to accomplish their ventures in space sector. InSpace wants to authorize space operations and services in the country through well-defined framework. So here remember, see, whenever private sector enters into a new field, like previously there was only BSNL in telecom sector, but today you can find many private companies or telecom service providers like Idea, Airtel, V and all, right? So whenever private sector enters into a field, so we need to regulate that private sector. We need to control the private sector because private sector is motivated with profit only. So it is possible that they might misuse some things which can hamper the national security, which can hamper the interest of people. So whenever private sector enters into a new field, we need to regulate that private sector. InSpace will act as a regulator that will regulate the activity of private entities in Indian space sector. Is that clear? That's why authorize and supervise. And InSpace wants to supervise the space activities of new generation entities in the country. Okay. What is the journey so far? 16 MOUs signed and 5 authorizations issued. So InSpace will promote, enable, authorize and supervise the activity of private sector in Indian space fields. Okay. समझ में आया? Then what is NSIL? तो NSIL is a company. InSpace is a regulator and NSIL is a company. What is NSIL? New Space India Limited. And as a company, what is the objective of this company? The objective of this company is to produce PSLV by private industry, to produce SSLV by private industry, to develop launch services by private industry, and to build satellite. In short, NSIL चाहता है कि प्राइवेट सेक्टर के कोलैबोरेशन से PSLV बनाया जाए, SSLV बनाया जाए, लॉन्च सैटेलाइट लॉन्च किए जाए, सैटेलाइट बिल्ड किए जाए, सैटेलाइट डिजाइन किए जाए. अभी ये सारे के सारे काम कौन करता है? इसरो करता है. तो NSIL इसरो की ये सारे काम किसे देगा? प्राइवेट सेक्टर को देगा. और जब प्राइवेट सेक्टर ये सब करेगा तो उसे रेगुलेट करने का काम कौन करेगा? InSpace करेगा. तो NSIL is a government owned company and InSpace is a InSpace is a regulator to regulate the activity of private sector in Indian space field. Clear to everyone? Great. Let's go ahead. So this is all about vikram-s, all about the private sector and Indian space activity, all about the InSpace and all about the NSIL. Now we will discuss what is Artemis mission. So remember, the main aim of Artemis mission is to go to moon. Okay, but this Artemis mission will be launched in stages, not in one go to moon. और टू मून कैसे जाना है? तो मैंड ह्यूमन फ्लाइट, मतलब ह्यूमन को मून पे लेकर जाना है. तो आर्टेमिस के अभी है आर्टेमिस 1 मिशन इज देयर, आर्टेमिस 2 मिशन इज देयर एंड आर्टेमिस 3 मिशन इज देयर. So we will discuss that in detail. Now currently Artemis 1 is in news. So context. NASA recently launched the Artemis 1 mission heading to the moon on board Orion with the intention of carrying out tests ahead of future manned missions to the moon and beyond. तो अभी तक देखो human went into the space, human went to the moon, but till date no human landed on the Mars. So ultimate objective of Artemis mission is to take human to the moon and beyond, means to the Mars as well. Okay. What is the background? The Apollo program oblique project Apollo, अब आपको पता होना चाहिए, it is project Apollo or Apollo 11 mission in 1969 took first human to the moon. And what was the name of the first human who put first foot on the moon? Neil Armstrong. Okay. So Apollo program or Project Apollo was NASA's third human spaceflight program after Project Mercury and Project Gemini, responsible for preparing and landing the first humans on the moon between 1968 and 1972. मैं आपको अभी शॉर्ट मून मिशन की हिस्ट्री दे देता हूँ. So NASA first launched Project Mercury so that they can land humans on the moon. Then NASA launched Project Gemini, again with the objective to land humans on the moon. Then NASA launched Project Apollo, again with the objective of landing humans on the moon. And इस Apollo mission में जो 11th mission था, that succeeded to land humans on the moon. And now NASA again came up with the Project Artemis, with the objective of landing humans on the moon and beyond. अब यहाँ पे moon and beyond आ जाएगा. Okay, moon and beyond. So this is the objective of Artemis mission. Got it? So you got the whole history of moon missions by NASA. Then there are many moon missions by Russia, many moon missions by China. Even India launched two moon missions, Chandrayaan 1 and Chandrayaan 2. About the Artemis 1 mission, Artemis 1, formerly known as Exploration Mission 1, it is the first planned uncrewed test flight. देखो आर्टेमिस सीरीज के अंदर आर्टेमिस 1, आर्टेमिस 2 और आर्टेमिस 3 लॉन्च हो गए. आर्टेमिस सीरीज का एम है ह्यूमन को मून पे लेकर जाना, लेकिन आर्टेमिस 1 में जो लॉन्च होगा इट इज विदाउट ह्यूमन, uncrewed, because it is a test flight. Before sending humans to moon, we need to test every technology so that we do not lose those humans while launching a mission to moon. So it is a test flight. So Artemis 1, formerly known as Exploration Mission 1, is the first planned uncrewed test flight in NASA's Artemis program, which aims to return humans to the moon, जिसका ऑब्जेक्टिव है humans को moon पे लेकर आना. It will also be the maiden flight of Asian agency's space launch system rocket. Not much important, but this is the name of the rocket of NASA. जैसे देखो इसरो के रॉकेट का नाम PSLV, इसरो के रॉकेट का नाम GSLV MK3, स्काई रूट एरोस्पेस के रॉकेट का नाम विक्रम-s, देन अग्नि कॉस्मोस के रॉकेट का नाम अग्निबाण, स्पेस एक्स के रॉकेट का नाम फाल्कन एंड फाल्कन हेवी. उसी तरह नासा के लेटेस्ट रॉकेट का नाम स्पेस लॉन्च सिस्टम, which will be the most powerful rocket engine ever flown into space, even more powerful than Apollo's Saturn V rocket, which carried people to the moon in the 1960s and 1970s. So this is about Artemis 1 mission. Now what is the significance of Artemis 1? It will test how well SLS and Orion can complete a mission to the moon and back. Means you need to take humans to the moon and bring them back. Orion is also the name of rocket, SLS is also the name of rocket, and both these rockets belong to NASA. So first we will launch Artemis 1 mission, which is uncrewed. Then we will launch Artemis 2 mission in 2024. It will be a crewed flight but not land on the moon. तो इसमें Artemis 2 पे humans होंगे, but these humans will only go to space and they will come back. They will not land on the moon. तो पहले आपने क्या किया? Under Artemis 1 mission, you are just sending uncrewed mission. In Artemis 2, you are sending humans but not landing on the moon. And in Artemis 3, you will land humans on the moon. और आपके लिए एक interesting चीज, under Artemis mission, we will be sending women to the moon for the very first time. इससे पहले जो moon पे landing की गई थी, that is done by a men. First time woman moon पे जाएगी. तो Artemis 3 2026 will land on the south pole of the moon with humans. So Artemis series is 1, 2 and 3. One is uncrewed, 2 is crewed and third is manned space mission that will land on the moon. What are the other missions to moon? So Luna 2 are the moon missions of USSR. Apollo is the series of moon missions of USA. Chandrayaan 1 and Chandrayaan 2 are the names of the moon missions of India, and there is a mission called Chang. Chang mission is moon missions of China. So these are different moon missions launched by what we say different countries. जैसे कि जो इजराइल है आपका, इजराइल हैज लॉन्च्ड बेरेशिट मिशन. ओके, आई विल जस्ट गिव यू अ सिंपल आइडिया व्हाट एग्जैक्टली the name of China's moon mission. China's moon mission. So it is important for us. Yes, Chinese lunar exploration program, and these missions are named as, देखो Cheng project कहा जाता है इनको. Yes, I told you the right thing. Okay. So this is all about Artemis mission and Vikram. Yes, but before we end this class, I would like to show you the actual news article. जो हमारे notes में कुछ कुछ point नहीं आए, we will cover them from this news article. So here you can see this mission or this Vikram satellite crossed the edge of space before splashing back into the Bay of Bengal in a successful pilot run that heralds the entry of private sector into the country's space activities. You know that. Here what new fact you come to know, that Vikram went into the space and came back. But कहाँ गया? Edge of the space. Okay. The small 6-meter tall Vikram suborbital vehicle, developed by a 4-year-old startup called Skyroot Aerospace, reached an altitude of this kilometer, and in 2.5 minutes it completed its launch. So not much important. What is important for us is that how we define कि this rocket touched this space and came back. The target of the rocket was to reach space, which begins at an altitude of around 80 km, and to attempt touching the Karman line located at around 100 km altitude mark. Remember what is Karman line? Now see, Karman line is in news article. So UPSC will definitely ask you a question on Karman line in preliminary examination. The Karman line is the point where Earth's atmosphere ends, but satellites cannot be stably put into orbit. To compare, most commercial flights travel at an altitude of around 10 km. तो आपको करमान लाइन के बारे में क्या क्या याद रखना है? नंबर 1, Karman line is located at an altitude of 100 km. Number 2, Karman line is the boundary between space and Earth's atmosphere. Number 3, we cannot launch satellite at Karman line because Karman line is too close to Earth, so satellite will come back to Earth instead of remaining inside in the orbit. एंड नंबर 4, जो हमारी कमर्शियल फ्लाइट्स होती है, जो हमारे एयरक्राफ्ट्स होते हैं जिससे हम ट्रैवल करते हैं, they travel at a height of 10 km from the surface of Earth. Okay, so remember Karman line, very crucial and very important. मैंने जो उसके 3-4 पॉइंट बताए, you should note them down and remember them. It is my assurance कि in 2023 prelims they will ask you a question on Karman line. Okay, it was not included in our notes now. So what is the main goal of this mission? Main goal was checking most of the subsystems that will be used in the company's first orbital flight using the Vikram 1 vehicle scheduled for next year. I told you Vikram S is supposed to test only subsystems and technology, and Skyroot Aerospace will launch its first commercial launch vehicle Vikram 1 in 2023. In fact, the 3 customer payloads on board, including Space Kids India's FunChat, were non-deployable. मतलब इस पे 3 सैटेलाइट थे, but they cannot be deployed. They carried sensors and instruments to validate the flight worthiness and payload integration process for Vikram S. Rest you know about the Vikram S. I also told you about InSpace. अब ये जो Vikram S satellite launch vehicle या rocket है ना, it reached the speed of 5 Mach, which is rare to achieve when you are using solid engine. But if you are planning to use scramjet engine ना, तो you can achieve 5 Mach speed by using solid engine. Okay, so उसने speed कितनी achieve की? 5 Mach की, that is supersonic speed. Okay. And last point that you need to remember from this launch is This rocket was developed amid the pandemic. The Vikram series rockets are among the few launch vehicles in the world to have their core structure built using carbon composites. मतलब we used nanotechnology, and thrusters used for spin stability in the vehicle have been 3D printed. तो इसमें हमने दो latest modern technology use किए. एक तो we used 3D printing and second we used nanotechnology or carbon nano tubes. So that's it from my side for the today, guys. So before you leave this class, you need to remember few things. Number one, we are starting new batches at IQ Civils IAS Academy online as well as offline from 20 November. You need to register yourself to book your seat, and to do that you need to call on the numbers given below. Okay, that is our Telegram channel. You should subscribe to our Telegram channel so that you will get all the notes, all the updates related to the videos that are being uploaded on our YouTube channel. You need to also follow us on YouTube and like this video, share this video, and subscribe to IQ Civils IAS Academy YouTube channel. So that's it from my side, guys. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Take care. Sayonara.